Chris, one of the reasons I want to talk to you specifically is because you question Alex Jones, a high-profile defendant in his defamation case. In your experience, in your opinion, what might the strategy be from Dominion's lawyers when they get Fox News's high-profile hosts, their executives on the stand?
Well, I think it's probably fair to say that Alex Jones is a little bit of a unique personality on the stand, and to cross-examine, they're probably going to be dealing with somewhat more sophisticated individuals. But the motives in the case against Alex Jones are exactly the same as the motives that Fox News is going to have to deal with, and that is that they had a profit motive to spread these lies. That the emails and the communications indicate that after they called the election in Arizona, they fast started losing audience, and that caused a panic within Fox News. They were losing ratings, they were losing their core audience, and that's when the narrative shifted for Fox News, where they decided to choose their audience and the profits that that audience brings rather than publishing the truth about the election. And so just as Alex Jones had a profit motive for spreading false lies about Sandy Hook because it generated his audience, so did Fox News. And that cross-examination is going to be very compelling because the jury is going to be wondering, why would they spread lies about something that everybody knew? And the answer is money.
Angelo, amid all of this, you got Fox News airing an hour-long interview with former President Trump. Do not worry, to my viewers, I am not going to show you that interview, even a clip of it. The Washington Post put it, Trump was simply allowed to prattle on at will. As someone who watches Fox News on the regular and thinks about it as a business, Angelo, what does that tell you?
I mean, two things. One, it was like the good old days when you were watching it for Fox News, where they would basically give Trump the floor for 20, 30 minutes without even asking him a question. I mean, Tucker Carlson basically said like 10 words in the first 12, 15 minutes of the interview. He just let Trump talk. In fact, one of the only things Tucker said was to reinforce the idea that the election was stolen. He said, some people say Joe Biden won the election. That was the introduction to the only question he asked Trump during that time period. So, I mean, part of it is that they have to, and it sort of demonstrates the fine balancing act that they're sort of walking here, which is that they have to give a wink and a nod to their audience and cater to them to some extent. It's, to me, very striking because just last month, it was the first month ever where another sort of Trump rival actually had slightly more coverage than Trump on Fox News. That has not happened for years. Ron DeSantis finally tipped Trump one time, 1 month. It has not happened in years that somebody else has gotten more coverage, and boom, they're right back now. And so to me, what it tells us is that this is going to be part of their fine balancing act. They're squeezed between a rock and a hard place. But the thing that is very, very clear is that they're going to continue to attack the elections. They're just not going to use the word Dominion, but they're going to continue to reinforce the big lie. And to an extent, they're still deeply captive to the part of the audience that is has so much allegiance to Trump. So much so that they will give him basically a full hour uninterrupted during primetime from a host who has repeatedly said that he hated Donald Trump and didn't think he was very smart and couldn't wait to stop talking about him.